live. Podcast 63.
That it
Happy
is.
New Year. This is the first podcast that I've been on this year.
I think this is the first one of 25, so.
Okay, well, starting off the new year hot. We've had a lot of team members hitting the woods and blinds and the deer dropping like flies. We got, 3 more days of season left?
Yep.
So that's fun. You shot a deer with your bow, and I shot a deer with my bow in the last 2 weeks. So that's something that's new.
Yeah, right around Christmas.
I think you shot yours, and like a day later, maybe a week later, I shot mine.
Yeah, it was a few days later. You had snow on yours, right?
No.
Yeah, it's been weird. All the snow's been hit and miss. Like, they got a whole bunch down south, like in Missouri last night, but we were supposed to get 8 to 10 inches and got nothing.
Yeah, southern, southwest Iowa got freaking hammered, it looked like.
Yeah, got 0 on my farm.
Yeah, it's been cold, so the snow that we got has actually stuck around here. I drove up north today, and I'd say the cutoff line is probably Highway 6 and south has a lot more snow than anywhere north. So
Yeah, I had to go up by Highway 20 this morning, and there was 0 snow.
yeah, it's nice. I like snow. It's pretty, but season's closing. We're tagged out, and we're trying to look forward to maybe some ice fishing, maybe some coyote calling, or the Deer Classics just around the corner. So it'll be a slow time. Things start to really slow down, and kind of reflect on the season. And we've had, we started out slow with early muzzleloader, bow, even into November. Then we kind of picked up the last month or so. So that was kind of nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been one of them weird years. It seemed like a lot of the team, it was just constant one thing after another, just little tiny, mishaps or just stuff not aligning up, and it happens, and it sucks, and it makes you realize how hard it actually is to film and not only get a deer in range, but then to kill it and then to actually get it on video. It's pretty hard.
Yeah, it's not easy. We start the season and you have, high hopes, and you put a lot of work in with the food plots, cameras. Like it's almost another job, and we'd love to do it. And then at the end of the season, when it doesn't all work out, it's kind of like, man, what did I need to do different with EHD, Blue Tongue? That hurts. But you see a lot of guys that have success year after year, and being one of those, this year I struggled, and I wasn't the only one struggling. I still shot a couple nice deer, but just the lack of deer, it just really kind of reflecting on my season. Like I hunted hard. I hunted a lot of, I took a week off in November. I hunted every night I could, which was a lot of them, and it just never panned out. There's one deer I was chasing down by the river, and he, was on camera a few days, but it didn't work out this year. And a year of reflecting, and going into late season, you shot yours, and the video's up on YouTube, which is doing well. And then I shot mine, and I got the kill on video. So hopefully you can edit that. But it was kind of nice shooting mine because I did all the work on the farm. I put all the food plots in, and there's 3 or 4 deer that were kind of showing up randomly. And this one double white throat patch stepped out right, 20 minutes before last light at 15 yards, and I let him have it. So I mean, it was beneficial in that way. We killed an old mature deer, but I mean, that's the first deer I've shot over that food plot in that blind ever. So it's kind of neat.
That's kind of it. You do a lot of work on that farm, and you typically don't reap the benefits. It's usually your father-in-law or, Jace or someone like that. It's kind of you do all the work for everybody else. And to actually do it normally, I mean, I always called you Mr. October. You never had to hunt the rut because you were always tagged out.
Yep. Yeah, October, dude, was rough, very rough, and I think you're gonna, we talk about it a lot, but I think people really realize how bad it actually was once shed season comes and people are getting boots on the ground. Like you talked to a lot of shotgun hunters and they find a few here and there, but when the guys start
Looking.
when they're looking, when they're shed hunting, they're down in the creeks and the bedding, they're going to start to find quite a few of these deer. And I guess it is what it is. We'll hopefully bounce back the next couple of years. And, we got high hopes for both of our farms. I sold mine, so I couldn't hunt. When was that? The last day was December 30th. So my landowner tag was null and void. And now I'm looking forward to this new farm. And, your farm's kind of developing. So you got something to kind of look forward to for next year. And it's just going to keep getting better and better. And it's going to be exciting. 2025 is going to be a great year for us.
Yeah, I'm excited, and that was kind of the thing, sitting late season. I mean, I don't know if anyone's followed along or seen any like my social media posts, but I was after this one deer on my farm, and unfortunately, the neighbor ended up shooting him, and it happens. I'm sure I've been that neighbor before where I've shot somebody's target deer, and we've all been there. This is the first time it was different because it was my farm, and it was close, but the dude's a nice guy. He's super cool. I've you know no ill and will qualms that he shot it. It definitely took the wind out of my sails. But I did have a couple other pretty nice bucks show up after that, and they just once again the lack of food. Just whether it was bad growing season on my farm with no rain late, or just not having the ability to put in the amount of food I wanted to. But that's the fun part. Like I was sitting there late season. I shot my last deer. I might go bow hunting one last time. I got a doe tag on a farm. I may go try to kill one more. But I was sitting there in the blind the other night, just going, okay, now if I can just do this, this would make this better. And if I can change this around, it'll do like it's fun. Like I enjoy that. And I planted plots, planted a bean plot, planted clover, got a water hole, all this stuff, and didn't shoot a big buck off of it, but I shot a big giant doe off of it, which is just as good.
Yeah, and I guess reflecting on the year, you shot a couple nice bucks, some does. Jay's shot his first buck starting off youth season. That was epic. I shot early muzzleloader deer. I got Brad 167-inch 10-pointer, which he's not complaining about that. I mean, hindsight's 2020. I could have killed that deer in October easily. I didn't think he was as big as he actually was.
Right.
And then I shot one, late season with my bow. And so, I mean, it really was a good year. It wasn't a great year, but it was a great year for the team. I mean, we've had some of the biggest year we've shot, as a team was probably the 2024 season.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Trent killed a 190 in like a mid 70s deer.
You got
His
Mitch one.
Mitch killed a good deer. I think his fiance killed 2 deer, a bow deer and a muzzleloader deer. His buddy Brett, that is now part of the team, shot a tank of an 8-point, and yeah, I mean, you just think about it all over the spot. Austin shot a old Wisconsin buck, with Mitch filming him, and you know, it's just it's crazy. A lot of the team did really really well, and it's the ones that didn't end up shooting anything as of now. It's not from lack of effort. That's for darn sure. Everyone's been busting their butt really hard.
Yep. Yeah, it was good year, and I think now is the time. We're done. We're looking ahead of what can I do for the upcoming season. Well, if you have your own farms or farm you have property, or property that you have permission to do these habitat work or this kind of habitat work, you can go in there and You clear out some small food plots. You can go in there, put up some alfalfa bales and corn, throw a camera up, see who made it. Now, as long as you're done hunting, the neighbors, everybody that's hunting the property is done, you can go in there and do that. Jason and I started to do that on the new piece we're buying. I threw out like 3 bags of corn and 2 alfalfa bales and threw a camera up there. And I've already had one decent buck on camera, and then one was walking to it tonight on another camera. So
Nice.
there's some habitat work to be done. Some clearing. Right now, it's really nice because you can see through there's no canopy, like all the leaves are gone. You can kind of see what you want to clear, create trails, create some bedding areas. It's a good time to get out and walk the entire property, especially the snow cover where you can see a long distance. You can kind of see those travel corridors, maybe where the bedding's at, because obviously it's probably going to be in a thicker spot for some honeysuckle. It's a neat time of year. If you get a kind of a warmer day, get out and walk your property. It's still season, so when this drops, it'll probably be done. But wear orange. Just make sure you're safe, and get out there and get boots on the ground. And you can still find those scrapes. Some of them are even active still now. I mean, one of our team members, Josh Coughlin, he posted a picture on Facebook last night of a buck that shed, and he was out chasing a doe. So it's
I've seen a lot of that. Guys talking, hey, this buck was bumping a doe, and I'm like, well, it happens. I mean, who knows?
It happens all the way through March. Like, if they don't get bred, they come back in, and boom.
Yeah. No, I get that. So I'm gonna get I called the farmer that I get our alfalfa bales from, and he's got a bunch of third cuttings he's selling, and I said, all right, I'll get a hold of you next week, and I'm gonna get some corn and get the Boss buck feeders out, and we'll see. Start seeing who's around, see if we can't get some pictures, get some late season, after season inventory. And I mean, the sheds are already dropping. People are seeing stuff left and right. Charlotte, actually, we went out to hunt a couple nights ago, and she found the first shed. I walked right by it, and Dad, there's an antler right there. And it was literally it was like this much sticking out. That was it. Couldn't believe it.
That's really
so.
Jason and I went yesterday and drove the side-by-side around where I know giant Bascarac 6x6 lost one of his sides. We went and drove around, and he got bored pretty fast. So I let him out. He was running in front of the side-by-side with the dog, and we didn't find any sheds, but it's fun to get out and do something a little different.
So. Yeah, my phone's about to die. I'm going to plug it in on.
Okay. Yeah, so shed season's coming soon, and Jace keeps asking, when's shed season? Like, he thinks it's an actual date. He just turned 7, but he doesn't know. He thinks there's a season for it, which there kind of is, but there's really not. When they drop their antlers, go find them. Yep. So we have 2 Boss buck feeders we got to put out. They're all just laying on the ground right now. A 600-pounder and a 200-pounder. That have legs. You have one it's on a post.
Yeah, I have a 600-pounder that's on a 4x4.
That's cool.
So it's been up all season, but I covered the chutes. I think it's like it was all but empty. And then I covered the chutes so nothing could feed out of them. So it was all legal and whatnot. But all I have to do is open that up and top her off and see who's around.
Yeah, I will say, if you guys do get the Boss buck feeders, like the 200-pounders, it doesn't really matter, but the 600-pounders, make sure you have the legs are level. I mean, even if you have a good, base or platform for the legs, if you don't have it level, that corn will run out and it'll all end up on the ground. I learned that last year. So.
Yeah. I actually, for picture purposes, so they have 4 chutes. I actually went inside and plugged up 2 of them. So the back side of the feeder that you can't, that's facing away from the camera, I have those chutes plugged so nothing can go in them. So it'll help it last a lot longer, and they have to go to the front of the feeder so I can see what's there.
Yeah, it's nice too. You don't use as much corn, and with corn prices. I think Tractor Supply had them for like $8.59 per 50-pound bag. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
other places you can get them cheaper, like the Co-op, whatever. But I like to have them in a bag because they're cleaner and they're easier to load. You don't have to mess with just kernels all over your truck. But
Right.
yeah, and then the alfalfa bales, they're about $11. I think those went up a little bit in price.
I think I got
Supply.
9 or 9.5 is what my farmer is
That's not
charging me.
that's not bad
Yeah.
to buy for convenience. You need a few bales here and there, um, and I honestly think if you were just to do one or the other, I would pick alfalfa bales because they last so much longer,
Right.
and go throw. We were buying like what is it, 500-pound bales. They're huge. I could fit one in my trailer, and they're hard to get off, but those things would last a long time for like $100.
Yeah. Yeah, I just like the smaller ones. They're easier to move around if you got to carry them a little bit, and because like where my feeder is, I have to carry it at least, not that far, maybe 20 yards from where I could drive to, but I
Those
still would.
those bales they get pretty heavy.
Yeah, they really do, and it's one of those things. It's more for the health of the deer and to get them there because um I know, like right now, my farm only holds a couple does. Like they don't live there because, of course, the CRP isn't as big as it will be. But in a year or two, I think the carrying capacity of that farm will tenfold.
Well, you'll have habitat for them to live there too.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's keep the health of the deer, keep them around. There's still a ton of natural browse that they can still hit, and there's ag all over. But it is nice to see who made it through, and the reason why I really do it, and to be upfront with you, is to keep the bucks closer, so when they start to shed, I can find their antlers. So
Right. Yep. And that I was gonna pull both my feeders and put them on my farm, but then I'm like, man, I had my number one shooter on a different farm show up like 2 days ago, and he's still alive, still carrying. So I'm like, okay, he's gonna make it through. I at this point, if he was gonna be, if the neighbors wanted him dead, they would have shot him. So I'm pretty sure they're letting him go one more year, which God, he could be 8 or 9 years old next year. Um, so that'll be an interesting one to see what happens with. But I'm gonna leave my 200-pound boss buck feeder there and put out a couple more bales over double the bales because the corn's going to run out faster. And then my big boss buck feeder, I won't put as much alfalfa because I know the corn will be there. And I think I'm actually going to order. Domain has a feed. What is it? Last Bite or something like that. It's a. It's got. It's a mix you can put in a feeder or on the ground or whatnot. I'm going to order a few bags of that to put in and go from there. So switch it up a little bit, keep them healthy, get them coming there. So probably
yeah,
restock my mineral too.
speaking of Domain, we're going to work with them this year, and we're really excited. We've had some great success.
Yep.
This last year with the guys that were using it, and I they have some. I think it's Big Rock RC and like Cave and Rock. Like I think it's a hybrid. I'm gonna get some switchgrass. That's what it is. It's a switchgrass hybrid. That
Yep.
I think it's Big Rock RC. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
And, I'm gonna plant my ditches with it, so I'm gonna frost seed those, and kind of just prepare myself for success. And when that time comes, so I'm gonna have all the seed, get it ordered, and hopefully next year, I write a different story and I can shoot something in my new farm. So
Yeah. I've been thinking about, I got a little bit of screenage I want to do off the road. So looking at that, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm probably going to order that and my clover and just have it sitting there. So as soon as stuff starting, whether it's mid-February, late February, whenever it is, I can go and just start putting it out.
yeah, usually my March time frame around here anyway.
Yeah, I'd rather have it so I can know, hey, we're gonna warm up. It's gonna hit 50 for a week. Let's go get it in the ground so it can, ease its way down into the dirt. So,
Yep, January's gonna fly by. It started January 6th, and I turn a year older tomorrow, so I'm catching you.
It's going to be harder to catch
Yep.
up
Harder to get out of bed.
every day.
Well, guys, thanks for listening. We're going to go spend some time with our families, and we'll catch you on the next episode. And hopefully we have maybe found a few sheds. Or
Yep. Get some
big deer.
get some team members on here and tell us about their hunts, and should be a good time.
All right. Take
Later.
it easy.